Let's get started with the basics of prompt engineering. An expert knows all the answers if you ask the right questions. Interestingly, this is the same principle on which we design prompts for generative AI models. Prompts that we use to query and question AI applications such as chatbots, image, audio, or video generation tools, and even virtual worlds. Prompts optimize the response of generative AI models. The power lies in the questions that you ask. Knowing how to write a prompt that is effective and direct will allow you to generate more precise and relevant content. A good question to ask right now is, what will I be able to do after completing this course? This course invites all beginners, whether professionals, enthusiasts, practitioners, or students who have a genuine interest in learning how to write effective prompts. A course for everyone, regardless of your background or experience. By the end of this course, you'll be able to explain the concept and relevance of prompt engineering in generative AI models. Apply the best practices for creating prompts. Assess commonly used tools for prompt engineering and apply common prompt engineering techniques and approaches for writing effective prompts. This is a focused course comprising 3 modules, each of which requires 1 to 2 hours to complete. In Module 1 of the course, you'll learn about the concept of prompt engineering, starting with how to define a prompt and its elements. You'll learn to apply the best practices for writing effective prompts and assess common prompt engineering tools, such as IBM Watson X Prompt Lab, Spellbook, and Dust. In Module 2, you'll study various prompt engineering approaches like interview pattern, chain of thought, and tree of thought. You'll discover techniques for skillfully crafting prompts, such as zero-shot and few-shot, to produce precise and relevant responses. Module 3 requests your participation in a final project and presents a graded quiz to test your understanding of course concepts. You can also visit the course glossary and receive guidance on the next steps in your learning journey. The course is curated with a mix of concept videos and supported readings. Watch all the videos to capture the full potential of the learning material. You'll enjoy hands-on labs and a final project that demonstrates how to optimize results by creating effective prompts in the IBM Generative AI classroom. The course includes practice quizzes to help you reinforce your learning. At the end of the course, you'll also attempt a graded quiz. The course also offers discussion forums to connect with the course staff and interact with your peers. Most interestingly, through the expert viewpoint videos, you'll hear from experienced practitioners who will share their perspectives on the tools and approaches used in prompt engineering and the art of writing effective prompts. Are you ready to learn everything you can about writing prompts to unlock the full potential of generative AI? Let's get started. Welcome to What is a Prompt? After watching this video, you will be able to define a prompt and its elements. You will also be able to explain the relevance of writing effective prompts to guide generative AI models to produce the desired results. One of the significant capabilities of generative AI models is that their output closely resembles what a human can produce. Relevant, contextual, imaginative, nuanced, and linguistically accurate. And one of the critical factors in generating this output is prompt. So what is a prompt? A prompt is any input you provide to a generative model to produce a desired output. You can think of it as an instruction you provide to the model. For example, write a small paragraph describing your favorite holiday destination. Write HTML code to generate a drop-down selection of cities within an online form. These are straightforward prompts used to produce a specific output. Prompts can also be a series of instructions that refine the output step by step to achieve the desired result. For example, write a short story about a scientist studying life on Mars. What were some of the challenges he faced during his research? With these examples, it is clear that prompts contain questions, contextual text, guiding patterns or examples, and partial input for the model. Based on these natural language requests submitted as prompts, generative AI models collect information, derive inferences, and provide creative solutions. These instructions help the model produce relevant and logical responses or output based on provided inputs. Let's look at some more examples to help us understand this better. Suppose you want the model to write a short story about the struggles and achievements of a farmer who became a successful businessman in 10 years. If your prompt is "Rich Man's Story from a Small Town, His Struggles and Achievements," it'll produce a generic output, as this is what we call naive prompting. It means asking queries from the model in the simplest possible manner. To convey your intentions to the model, you can make simple adjustments that can radically improve the result, like your prompt must have context, a proper structure, and can be comprehensible. So you can rewrite the prompt as, Write a short story about the struggles and achievements of a farmer who became a rich and influential businessman in 10 years. Let's look at another example where you want the model to generate an image of a sunset scenery you have in mind. Writing the prompt as sunset image between mountains may not give you the desired output. The prompt is too brief and lacks a detailed outline of the image you have in mind. You can rewrite the prompt as generate an image depicting a calm sunset about a river valley that rests amidst the mountains. To master the art of writing effective prompts, let's understand the building blocks of a well-constructed prompt one by one. Instructions. Give the model distinct guidelines regarding the task you wish to execute, steering the actions of the generative AI model to influence the formation of its response. Like write an essay in 600 words analyzing the effects of global warming on marine life is one example. Context helps establish the circumstances that form the setting of the instruction and provides a framework for generating relevant content. To understand this, let's add some context to the prompt discussed in the previous example. In recent decades, global warming has undergone significant shifts, leading to rising sea levels, increased storm intensity, and changing weather patterns. These changes have had a severe impact on marine life. Write an essay in 600 words analyzing the effects of global warming on marine life. This prompt will help the model generate output aligned with the context. Input data is any piece of information provided by you as part of the prompt. This can be used as a reference for the generative model to attain responses with a specific set of details or ideas. To provide input data, the same prompt can be reconstructed in the following manner. You have been provided with a data set containing temperature records and measurements of sea levels in the Pacific Ocean. Write an essay in 600 words analyzing the effects of global warming on marine life in the Pacific Ocean. Output indicator offers benchmarks for assessing the attributes of the output generated by the model. It can outline the tone, style, length, and other qualities you desire from the output. In the prompt, write an essay in 600 words analyzing the effects of global warming on marine life. The output indicator specifies that the output generated should be an essay of 600 words. It will be evaluated based on the clarity of the analysis and the incorporation of relevant data or case studies. Each of these elements plays a role in helping the generative AI model comprehend your requirements and give you the desired output. In this video, you learned that a prompt is any input or series of instructions you provide to a generative model to produce a desired output. These instructions help in directing the creativity of the model and assist it in producing relevant and logical responses. The building blocks of a well-structured prompt include instruction, context, input data, and output indicators. These elements help the model comprehend our necessities and generate relevant responses. Welcome to What is Prompt Engineering? After watching this video, you'll be able to define what prompt engineering is and explain the relevance and importance of prompt engineering with respect to generative AI models. You'll also be able to explain the process involved in formulating effective prompts through prompt engineering to guide these models to produce relevant responses. The process of designing effective prompts to generate better and desired responses is called prompt engineering. Although generative AI models have the potential to supplement human creativity, if you fail to provide precise prompts, these models may produce inadequate results and even false and misleading information. Prompt engineering is a blend of critical analysis, creativity, and technical acumen. It is not limited to asking the right question. It includes framing the question in the right context, with the right information and your expectation of desired outcomes to elicit the most appropriate response. Let's understand this through an example. A ship is sailing through the Atlantic Ocean. To plan his voyage, the ship's captain wants to know the precise weather forecast for a specific location at a specific time. In this case, providing the model with a simple prompt such as weather forecast of the Atlantic Ocean may not get the desired results. To get the most accurate results, the captain will have to engineer the prompts. When designing the prompt, the captain needs to define the context to include details such as the intended location for the weather forecast, in latitude and longitude, and the time range for prediction. For example, the captain of a ship is planning a strategic voyage in the Atlantic Ocean. To help the captain navigate effectively, provide weather forecasts for the upcoming week from 28th August 2023 to 1st September 2023. The coordinates of the target location are between 20 degrees north and 30 degrees north latitude, and 40 degrees west and 20 degrees west longitude. The captain must also indicate whether he requires specific output, like should the model return information on other weather elements that could affect the voyage. For example, to help plan an effective navigation in the Atlantic Ocean, provide detailed information about expected wind patterns, wave heights, precipitation probabilities, cloud cover, and any potential storms that might affect the voyage during a specified time frame and location. It's important to recognize that prompt engineering is a well-structured iterative process that involves refining the prompts and experimenting with various factors that could influence the output from the model. Let's understand the step-by-step process involved in creating effective prompts through prompt engineering. Define the goal. The initial step in the process involves establishing a distinct goal. You must know what exactly you want the model to generate. For example, form a brief overview of the benefits and risks associated with artificial intelligence in automobiles. Craft initial prompt. Having defined the goal, it's now time to create an initial prompt. This might manifest as a question, a directive, or even a situation depending on the goal. For example, write an article that presents a well-rounded analysis of the benefits and drawbacks associated with the incorporation of artificial intelligence in the field of automobile industry. Test the prompt. The prompt you created should now be tested and analyzed for its response. While the response might be relevant, it could lack the distinct perspective you are aiming for. For example, the response to the initial prompt directly lays out the benefits and drawbacks of integrating artificial intelligence in the automobile industry. It does not highlight any ethical concerns that might arise. Further, there's no discussion on the positive and negative implications of the same. Analyze the response. You must carefully review the response and examine whether it aligns with your goals. If not, make a note of the areas where it fell short. For example, the initial prompt used fails to cover a comprehensive range of benefits and risks associated with artificial intelligence in the automobile industry. Refine the prompt. Using the knowledge acquired through testing and analysis, it's now appropriate to modify the prompt. This might include enhancing its specificity, incorporating additional context, or rephrasing. The initial prompt can be refined as follows. Write an informative article discussing the role of artificial intelligence in revolutionizing the automobile industry. Cover specific areas such as autonomous driving and real-time traffic analysis, as well as potential issues like technical complexity and cybersecurity concerns. Iterate the process. The last 3 steps are repeated until you're satisfied with the response. Consequently, following several cycles of refinement, the final prompt shall take this form. Write an article showcasing the transformation in the automobile industry brought about by artificial intelligence. Discuss its positive impacts on autonomous driving and real-time traffic analysis, while extensively digging into apprehensions regarding intricate technical aspects and cybersecurity breaches that may gain potential control over critical vehicle systems, thus compromising safety. Now, let's summarize the importance and relevance of prompt engineering and generative AI models. Optimizing model efficiency. Prompt engineering helps design intelligent prompts that allow the users to harness the full capabilities of these models without requiring extensive retraining. Boosting performance for specific tasks. Prompt engineering empowers generative AI models to deliver responses that are nuanced and have a context, rendering them more effective for specific tasks. Understanding model constraints. Refining prompts through each iteration and studying the corresponding responses of the model can help us understand its strengths and weaknesses. This knowledge can further guide feature enhancement or complete development of the model in the future. Enhancing model security. Skilled prompt engineering can prevent issues of harmful content generation due to poorly designed prompts, thereby enhancing safe utilization of the model. In this video, you learned that prompt engineering is the process of designing effective prompts to leverage the full capabilities of generative AI models in producing optimal responses. You also learned the process of refining a prompt via prompt engineering. At last, you learned the importance of prompt engineering and optimizing model efficiency, boosting performance, understanding model constraints, and enhancing its security. Welcome to Best Practices for Prompt Creation. After watching this video, you will learn to apply the best practices for creating effective prompts and explain the process of drafting and refining prompts through various examples. Writing effective prompts is crucial for utilizing the full potential of generative AI models to produce relevant and accurate responses. By applying the best practices for creating effective prompts, you can supervise the style, tone, and content of the output generated. You can apply the best practices for crafting effective prompts across 4 essential dimensions: clarity, context, precision, and role-play or persona pattern. Let's explore each of these aspects individually. To have clarity in your prompt, keep the following points in mind. Simple and straightforward language can convey instructions easily. So write prompts that are unambiguous and easy to comprehend. Specialized terminologies can potentially puzzle the model or the users. So, write prompts using simple terms that can be understood by a broad range of audiences. Vague prompts could lead to responses that do not align with your intentions. Therefore, you must provide a clear description of the task that the model must perform. Let's understand this through an example. Discuss culinary processes that take place on foliaceous stipules of plants with the help of sunlight. Also mention a green thing and how light, air, and water are important for aerial parts of the plant. This prompt has much ambiguity. Nowhere does it explicitly mention the process you want to discuss. The prompt contains complex terminologies, which make it difficult to comprehend. It's also vague and does not clearly describe the task at hand. To ensure clarity, you can rewrite this prompt as, explain the process of photosynthesis in plants, detailing the role of chlorophyll and how sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water contribute to this biological function. The revised prompt has simple, clear, and concise language and explicitly states that you want to discuss the process of photosynthesis in plants. Moving on to the next essential dimension, which is the context. Context always helps the model understand the situation or the subject. This could involve giving a brief introduction or explanation of the circumstances in which the response is required. Relevant information or specific details like people, places, events, or concepts help guide the understanding of the model. So it's important to incorporate such details while writing prompts. For example, the prompt, write what happened during the outbreak of the Revolutionary War in 1775, does not contain adequate context and specific details to guide the understanding of the model. To establish the right context and include the relevant information, you can rewrite this prompt as, describe the historical events leading to the American Revolutionary War, focusing on key incidents like the Boston Tea Party, Battle of Saratoga, and so on. Highlight the tensions between the American colonies and the British government, and explain how these events led to the outbreak of the Revolutionary War in 1775. Another important dimension for creating effective prompts is precision. Precision helps outline your request in the prompt. If you're searching for a particular kind of response, express that with clarity. Examples incorporated within your prompts can help the model understand what kind of response you're looking for and direct its thought process. For example, in the prompt, talk about supply and demand and how it is affected in economics, there's no precise outline of a particular kind of response and no examples. To ensure precision, you can rewrite this prompt as, explain the concept of supply and demand in economics. Describe how an increase in demand can influence pricing with the help of an illustrative example, like the smartphone market. Similarly, explain the repercussions of reduced supply on pricing by drawing parallels with situations like disruptions in oil production. This prompt clearly expresses that you want to explain a concept with the help of examples. Finally, let's discuss the last dimension, which is roleplay or persona pattern. Prompts written from the perspective of a specific character or persona can help the model generate responses aligned with that perspective. Essential contextual details enable the model to effectively assume a particular role. So if you're requesting the model to reply from the standpoint of a historical figure, a fictional character, or a specific profession, then provide contextual details. Let's look at this example here. Write a log entry describing the strange flora and fauna of an uncharted alien planet. This prompt will simply give scientific details about the alien planet and will not explain its answer from the perspective of a professional. You can rewrite the prompt as, pretend you are an astronaut who has just landed on an uncharted alien planet. Write a log entry describing the strange flora and fauna you've encountered, like the color of the sky and the unfamiliar sounds echoing through the alien landscape. Express your feelings of excitement, curiosity, and a hint of apprehension as you document this extraordinary journey. In this example, you explicitly gave contextual details and assumed yourself to be an astronaut, so this prompt will generate a response aligned with the perspective of an astronaut. In this video, you learn that writing effective prompts for generative AI models is essential for supervising the style, tone, and content of the output. Best practices for writing effective prompts can be implemented across 4 dimensions: clarity, context, precision, and roleplay. Clarity includes using simple and concise language. Context provides background and required details. Precision means being specific and providing examples. And roleplay can enhance responses by assuming a persona and offering relevant context. These practices can be adapted to specific needs for optimal results. Welcome to Common Prompt Engineering Tools. After watching this video, you'll be able to describe the common functionalities of prompt engineering tools and explain the capabilities of a few common tools for prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is the process of designing accurate and contextually appropriate prompts to interact with generative AI models to generate relevant and accurate outputs. To aid you with this process, you have diverse prompt engineering tools. Prompt engineering tools provide various features and functionalities to optimize the creation of prompts for desired outcomes. These tools are specifically useful for users who may not be proficient with natural language processing or NLP techniques but want to achieve specific outcomes when using generative AI models. Let's explore the common functionalities offered by diverse prompt engineering tools. Firstly, several tools for prompt engineering offer suggestions for prompts based on a given input or the desired output. Next, these tools can suggest how to structure prompts for better contextual communication. They help craft prompts that provide the necessary context for the model to understand the user's intent. You can iteratively refine prompts based on the initial responses from a tool to find the most effective prompt. Prompt engineering tools might offer features to help mitigate bias in the response of a generative AI model. They can guide how to craft prompts to reduce the likelihood of biased or inappropriate outputs. These tools can help create prompts relevant to specific domains such as legal, medical, or technical. Some prompt engineering tools offer libraries of predefined prompts for various use cases that can be customized for specific needs. Moving forward, let's explore a few common tools for prompt engineering. Let's start with IBM WatsonX.ai, a platform of integrated tools to train, tune, deploy, and manage foundation models easily. The platform includes the Prompt Lab tool that enables users to experiment with prompts based on different foundation models and build prompts based on their needs. To help you get started, Prompt Lab provides sample prompts for different use cases, including summarization, classification, generation, and extraction. To create prompts specific to your needs, you can train a model by adding instructions and examples to show the model how to respond to the input. Moving further, let's learn about Spellbook, an integrated development environment, or IDE, by Scale AI. With Spellbook, you can build applications based on a language model, or LLM, and experiment with prompts for various use cases, including text generation, text extraction, classification, question answering, auto-completion, and summarization. For prompt engineering, Spellbook includes a prompt editor that enables you to edit and test prompts. You can use prompt templates to leverage structured prompts for generating text. You can also access pre-built prompts as examples. Another tool for prompt engineering is Dust. It provides a web user interface for writing prompts and chaining them together. You can manage different versions of chain prompts. It also provides a custom coding language and a set of standard blocks for processing the outputs provided by the LLMs. Dust also supports API integration to integrate other models and services. Another tool for effective prompt engineering is Prompt Perfect, which can be used to optimize prompts for different LLMs or text-to-image models. It supports common text models such as GPT, Claude, Stable LM, and Llama, and image models such as DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. For writing or optimizing a prompt, you first need to select the relevant model for which you want to optimize the prompt. Different models have different optimizing strategies. You can also select the add-ons related to preview, quality, language, and moderation. When you write a prompt, you can experiment with the autocomplete feature that provides suggestions as you type. You can further optimize the written prompt. Here, you can see an example that reveals the original prompt written by a user and the corresponding optimized prompt generated by Prompt Perfect. For a further level of optimization, you can optimize and refine the prompt step by step in the streamline mode. You write a prompt, optimize it, and again edit the prompt and optimize until you are satisfied with the output. Some other popular tools and interfaces provide resources for prompt engineering or help you experiment with prompts. GitHub provides vast repositories for prompt engineering and LLMs. The guides, examples, and tools provided in these repositories help improve prompt engineering skills. OpenAI Playground is a web-based tool that helps to experiment and test prompts with various models of OpenAI, such as GPT. Playground AI platform helps you experiment with text prompts for generating images with the Stable Diffusion model. LangChain is a Python library that provides functionalities for building and chaining prompts. Finally, it's interesting to learn that prompts are also available for buying and selling. One such example of a marketplace for prompts is PromptBase. PromptBase supports prompts for popular generative AI tools and models, including Midjourney, ChatGPT, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, and Llama. Through PromptBase, you can buy prompts specific to your requirements and specific to a model or tool. For example, you can buy a prompt to generate comical cartoon characters through Midjourney. Also, if you have good prompt crafting skills, you can upload and sell prompts through PromptBase. It also supports crafting prompts directly on the platform and selling them on its marketplace. In this video, you learned that prompt engineering tools provide various features and functionalities to optimize prompts. Some of these functionalities include suggestions for prompts, contextual understanding, iterative refinement, bias mitigation, domain-specific aid, and libraries of predefined prompts. A few common tools and platforms for prompt engineering include IBM Watson X.ai, Prompt Lab, Spellbook, Dust, and Prompt Perfect. Welcome to text-to-text prompt techniques. After watching this video, you'll be able to describe the techniques using which text prompts can improve the reliability of large language models. You'll also be able to explain the benefits of using text prompts with large language models effectively. In recent years, there has been a significant advancement in natural language processing, or NLP, by using large language models, or LLMs. However, as the size and complexity of LLMs continue to increase, questions about their reliability, security, and potential biases have surfaced. Using text prompts effectively is a promising solution to these concerns. Text prompts are carefully crafted instructions that direct LLM behavior to generate a desired output. However, the quality and relevance of the generated output depend on the effectiveness of the prompt and the capability of the LLM. Let's explore the techniques that make text prompts effective and improve the reliability of output generated by LLMs. Let's begin by exploring the task specification technique. Text prompts should explicitly specify the objective to the LLM to increase accurate responses. For example, the prompt "translate this English sentence into French" is a clear directive for achieving the task. Contextual guidance is a technique using which text prompts provide specific instructions to the LLMs to generate relevant output. For example, if you'd like the model to generate a short write-up on the landmarks of New York City, a prompt like "write a short paragraph on New York City" would yield a generic response that might not cover what you want. On the other hand, a more specific prompt like "write a short paragraph on New York City," highlighting its iconic landmarks, would generate a more appropriate output because of the context included in the prompt. Domain expertise is also essential to improving LLM dependability. Text prompts can use domain-specific terminology when you need LLMs to generate content in specialized fields like medicine, law, or engineering, where accuracy and precision are crucial. Let's say you'd like to request medical information regarding hypothyroidism. Your prompt could read something like, "Please explain the causes, symptoms, and treatments of hypothyroidism, including the latest research and medical guidelines." Bias mitigation is a technique in which text prompts provide explicit instructions to generate neutral responses. For instance, let's assume that you are concerned about a gender bias in the model's response to a prompt for a write-up on leadership qualities. To address this, you can use a text prompt like this: "Write a 100-word paragraph on leadership traits without favoring any gender. Provide equal examples of traits from all genders." Framing is yet another technique by which text prompts guide LLMs to generate responses within required boundaries. Suppose you'd like the model to summarize a lengthy article about climate change. Your text prompt can be, "Provide a summary of 100 words of the article on climate change, focusing on its primary findings and recommendations." Did you know that LLMs today, trained on large amounts of data and tuned to follow instructions, can perform tasks zero-shot? Zero-shot prompting is a method using which generative AI models generate meaningful responses to prompts without needing prior training on these specific prompts. For example, the prompt could be, "Select the adjective in this sentence." The sentence is, "Anita bakes the best cakes in the neighborhood." The output here would be best. However, often you will not get the desired response in one prompt, and you may need to iterate. This is where the user feedback loop technique comes in, wherein users provide feedback to text prompts and iteratively refine them based on the response generated by the LLM. This loop allows users to improve the model's output quality incrementally until the desired state is achieved. For example, the user asks the model to write a poem via a text prompt. The LLM generates a poem. The user says, "Make it more humorous." The LLM adjusts the poem to include more humorous elements. The user approves the revised poem. Similarly, for complex tasks, when you are unable to describe your needs clearly, a technique called a few-shot is used. It enables in-context learning, wherein demonstrations are provided in the prompt to steer the model to better performance. The demonstrations act as conditioning for subsequent examples where you would like the model to generate a response. For instance, suppose the task for the model is to generate short travel recommendations. As few-shot prompts, you provide the following guided context to the model. Recommend a summer travel destination well known for beautiful beaches. Suggest a fall travel destination that is renowned for its beautiful foliage. After using these few-shot prompts, the model can generate travel recommendations for other types of vacations. For example, if the task is recommend a city to explore, the model will generate an answer. Consider visiting a vibrant city like Paris, known for its rich history, art, and iconic landmarks. This is how the model can generate travel recommendations for different types of vacations based on the minimal training data provided in the few-shot prompts. There are several benefits when you use text prompts with LLMs using the methods we just discussed. Let's look at some of them. The LLM's explainability is enhanced. Explainability refers to the degree to which a user can understand and interpret the model's decision-making process and the reasons behind its generated outputs. Explainability helps users, developers, and stakeholders understand how the model works, why it makes certain predictions or generates specific text, and whether it can be trusted in various applications. Explainability is crucial to addressing ethical concerns related to AI. It helps all stakeholders evaluate and ensure the LLM's behavior is consistent with a specific domain's ethical guidelines and legal requirements. In addition to increasing the reliability and explainability of LLMs, effective text prompts also foster trust between the user and the LLM. When the user can understand how the LLM works and see the direct influence of their instructions on the LLM's behavior, it leads to transparent and meaningful interactions between the user and the LLM. In this video, you learned the various techniques using which text prompts can improve the reliability and quality of LLMs. Specifically, you looked at task specification, contextual guidance, domain expertise, bias mitigation, framing, and the user feedback loop. You also learned about the zero-shot and few-shot techniques. Finally, you learned the several benefits of using text prompts with LLMs effectively, such as increasing the explainability of LLMs, addressing ethical considerations, and building user trust. Welcome to Interview Pattern Approach. After watching this video, you'll be able to explain the interview pattern approach to prompt engineering. You'll also learn to apply this concept to write more effective prompts for generative AI models to produce more specific responses. The interview pattern approach to prompt engineering is a strategy that involves designing prompts by simulating a conversation or interacting with the model in the style of an interview. Let's learn how the interview pattern approach typically works. This approach requires meticulous optimization of the prompt to ensure the model generates responses that precisely meet your objectives. It involves providing specific prompt instructions to the model in response to which the model asks necessary follow-up questions from the user. Depending on the response to these follow-up questions, the model draws information relevant to its task, processes it, and provides a well-optimized response to the user. The more information you provide, the better the result will be. You'll understand this better with the help of an example. Suppose you want the model to behave like a travel consultant and plan your travel itinerary for a vacation. How will you prompt the model to do so? You can give prompt instructions to the model saying, "You will act as a seasoned travel expert. Your objective is to engage in a comprehensive trip planning session with me. Begin by asking a series of detailed questions, one at a time, to gather all the essential information required to craft the most tailored and memorable travel itinerary based on my specific preferences, interests, and budget." In response to this prompt instruction, the model will ask all the required follow-up questions, such as, what types of destinations do you enjoy traveling to the most? Could you describe your ideal vacation in terms of activities and experiences? How do you typically plan your trips, and what factors are most important to you when choosing a destination? Do you find any specific cultural or historical aspects intriguing when planning your travel destination? What kind of accommodation options do you prefer when you travel, and why? How do you balance budget considerations with the desire for a memorable travel experience? In this example, each question builds upon the previous one, creating a structured and informative conversation about travel preferences. Depending on your response to these queries, the model will plan a memorable travel itinerary that aligns with your preferences and needs. In this video, you learned that the interview pattern approach is superior to the conventional prompting approach, as it allows a more dynamic and iterative conversation when interacting with generative AI models. Instead of providing a single static prompt, the interview pattern involves a back-and-forth exchange of information with the model, which helps clarify queries and guides the response of the model in real time. This, in turn, enhances the capabilities of the users to optimize the results obtained. Welcome to Chain of Thought Approach. After watching this video, you'll be able to explain the chain of thought approach to prompt engineering. You'll also learn to apply this concept to develop prompts with compelling and diverse examples, allowing generative AI models to understand the context and generate coherent responses with ongoing conversation. Chain of thought is a prompt-based learning approach that involves constructing a series of prompts or questions to guide the model to generate a desired response. Using this approach, you can demonstrate the cognitive abilities of the generative AI models and better explain their reasoning process. It involves breaking down a complex task into smaller and easier ones through a sequence of more straightforward prompts, with each prompt building upon the previous one to guide the model toward the intended outcome. Before posing a question directly to the model, you feed it with related questions along with their corresponding solutions. This chain of prompts helps the model think about the problem and use the same strategy to answer more such questions correctly. In simpler words, the prompt includes a question and an accurate answer to the question to provide the required context and step-by-step reasoning for the model. Then it poses a different question to be answered using the same line of reasoning. You'll understand this better with the help of an example. If you pose a mathematical problem to the model like, Matthew has 6 eggs, he buys 2 more trays of eggs. Each tray has 12 eggs. How many eggs does he have now? Its logic can go off the rails, especially for a complex problem. To train the model with the appropriate reasoning involved in solving such questions, you can pose a similar question like this one. Mary has 8 radishes. She used 5 radishes to prepare the dinner. The next morning, she bought 10 more radishes. How many radishes does she have now? Along with the questions, you must provide the correct logical solution as well. Mary had 8 radishes. She cooked dinner using 5 of them, so she had 8 minus 5 equals 3 radishes left with her. The next morning, she bought 10 more, so she has 3 plus 10 equals 13 radishes now. This will help the model understand the logic involved and come up with the right solution. So your final prompt should include the following: a related question with the appropriate solution, and then another question that can be solved using the same logic or reasoning. In this prompt, you can see there's a question, a logical solution to the question, and another question that can be solved using the same logic. In this video, you learned that the chain of thought approach strengthens the cognitive abilities for generative AI models and solicits a step-by-step thinking process. This approach involves providing the model with related questions and their corresponding solutions to train the model with the logic behind. Welcome to Tree of Thought approach. After watching this video, you'll be able to explain the tree of thought approach to prompt engineering. You'll also learn to apply this approach to draft prompts for generating tailored responses. The tree of thought is an innovative technique built to expand the capabilities of the chain of thought prompting approach. It enables the generative AI models to demonstrate advanced reasoning capabilities. It involves hierarchically structuring a prompt or query, akin to a tree structure, to specify the desired line of thinking or reasoning for the model. This approach is particularly useful when you want to provide explicit instructions or constraints to the model to ensure it generates the desired output. This method holds immense potential for unlocking new solutions and tackling complex problems. Let's understand how the tree of thought approach works. It involves generating multiple lines of thought, resembling a decision tree, to explore different possibilities and ideas. Unlike traditional linear approaches, this technique allows the model to evaluate and pursue multiple paths simultaneously. Each thought or idea branches out, creating a tree-like structure of interconnected thoughts. The model proceeds by assessing every possible route, assigning numerical values according to its predictions of outcomes, and eliminating lesser promising lines of thought, ultimately pinpointing the most favorable choices. You will understand this better with the help of an example. Suppose you want the model to design recruitment and retention strategies for attracting skilled remote employees for an e-commerce business. You want the model to employ the tree of thought approach to do that. You can give the following prompt instructions to the model. Imagine 3 different experts answering this question. All experts will write down one step of their thinking and then share it with the group. Then all experts will go on to the next step, etc. If any expert realizes they're wrong at any point, then they leave. Along with the prompt instruction, you will also give the original question for the prompt. Act as a human resource specialist, design a recruitment and retention strategy for an e-commerce business, focusing on attracting and retaining skilled remote employees. Building such prompt instruction will allow the generative AI model to consider a step-by-step process and think logically. It will also make it consider intermediate thoughts, building upon them and exploring branches that may or may not lead somewhere. This practice will maximize the use and capabilities of the model, rendering more useful results. In this video, you learned that the tree of thought approach is an innovative technique that builds upon the chain of thought approach and involves structuring prompts hierarchically, akin to a tree-like structure, to guide the model's reasoning and generation of output. This approach is particularly valuable when explicit instructions or constraints are necessary for desired outputs. It enables the model to explore various possibilities and ideas simultaneously, branching out like a decision tree. Welcome to Text-to-Image Prompt Techniques. After watching this video, you'll be able to explain common image prompting techniques used to improve the quality and impact of images and apply these techniques to write better prompts for image generation. Images are an essential part of communication and are used in various fields such as marketing, advertising, education, journalism, and many others. Nonetheless, certain images excel in their ability to convey emotions more effectively than others. An image prompt is a text description of an image that you want to generate. It can be as simple as a single word or phrase, or it can be more detailed, describing the composition, colors, and mood of the image. To increase the impact of images obtained through generative AI models and make them more convincing and compelling, you can use image prompting techniques. These techniques aim to improve the quality, diversity, and relevance of images produced by generative AI models. There are different image prompting techniques that can be used to improve the impact of images. Let's learn about these techniques one by one. Style modifiers are descriptors used to influence the artistic style or visual attributes of images produced by generative AI models. These descriptors can help the model produce graphics with innovative style while conforming to the structure and content of the input prompt. You can modify the various visual elements of an image like color, contrast, texture, shape, and size, and generate output that is aesthetically appealing and visually pleasing. Your prompt can include information about miscellaneous art styles, historical art periods, photography techniques, types of art materials used, and even traits of well-known brands or artists you want the model to emulate. All this information can help the generative model understand the desired appearance or style of the output image. Here are a few examples of style modifiers used in image prompts. The style modifiers used in these prompts have been highlighted. Moving on to the next image prompting technique, that is quality boosters. High-quality images are more convincing and reliable as compared to low-quality ones. Images with low resolution frequently exhibit blurriness and pixelation, making it difficult for viewers to discern the finer details within the image. On the other hand, images with high resolution guarantee essential visibility and readability. The perceived worth of an image can be raised by using high-quality graphic design. Quality boosters are terms used in an image prompt to enhance the visual appeal and improve the overall fidelity and sharpness of the output. These are specific terms that can direct the generative AI model to perform steps like noise reduction, sharpening, color correction, and resolution enhancement. You can use terms like high resolution, 2K, 4K, hyper-detailed, sharp focus, complementary colors, and many others in your image prompts as quality boosters. They can enhance specific features of the image, resulting in more coherent output. Let's look at some examples to understand how quality boosters can be used in image prompts. Terms such as highlights the texture, 4K resolution, sharp, crisp, details and fine lines, complementary colors, blurred background, and standout are quality boosters used in the given image prompts. The third image prompting technique is repetition. This technique leverages the power of iterative sampling to enhance the diversity of images generated by the model. Repetition involves emphasizing a particular visual element within an image to create a sense of familiarity for the model, allowing it to focus on a specific idea or concept you want to highlight. This can be accomplished by repeating the same word or similar phrase within the image prompt. Repetition helps reinforce the message conveyed through the image and increase the memorability of the model. Rather than producing just one image based on a prompt, the model generates multiple images with subtle differences, resulting in a diverse set of potential outputs. This technique is particularly valuable when generative models are confronted with abstract or ambiguous prompts to which numerous valid interpretations are possible. Let's look at some examples of repetitive words used in an image prompt. Words such as tiny, dense, enormous, vast, serene, clear, and lush have been repeated many times to focus on a specific idea. The fourth image prompting technique is weighted terms. Weighted terms refer to the use of words or phrases that can have a powerful emotional or psychological impact. For example, words such as free, limited time offer, and guaranteed are often used in advertising to elicit a sense of urgency, security, and trust. Similarly, words such as luxury, premium, and exclusive are used to create a sense of exclusivity and sophistication. Generative AI models allow you to give positive or negative weights to such terms to emphasize or de-emphasize a certain emotion. Using weighted terms in an image prompt can help create images that are memorable and convincing and can draw emotional responses from the audience. Here are some examples of weighted terms used in an image prompt. As you can see in the first example, a weight of positive 10 is given to the word warm, whereas the weight of crackling is positive 8. This means the generative model must focus more on the word warm and a little less on the word crackling. Similarly, in the second example, a positive 6 weight is given to the word shimmering, and the weight of neon lit is positive 8, so the model should focus more on neon lit. whereas in the last example, negative weight of 6 is given to the word colorful and a positive weight of 10 is given to exotic. This means the model must emphasize the word exotic and de-emphasize the word colorful. The fifth image prompting technique is fixed deformed generations. This technique is used to modify any deformities or anomalies that may impact the effectiveness of the image. Deformities in an image can include conditions like distortion, particularly on human body parts like hands or feet, pixelation, or other image quality issues that can detract from the visual appeal and clarity of the image. This can be mitigated to some extent by using good negative prompts. Here are some examples of deformed generation prompting techniques used in image prompts. You can see that in all these examples, good negative words have been used to mitigate the issues of deformed images. In this video, you learned that image prompting techniques play a vital role in advancing the image generation capabilities of generative AI models. Style modifiers, quality boosters, repetition, weighted terms, and fixed deformed generations are 5 techniques that can be used to improve the impact of images produced. By incorporating these techniques, one can create more memorable, engaging, and persuasive visuals that can effectively communicate the intended message.